Welcome to the second lecture on probability theory and stochastic process. In the last lecture, we have dealt with the basics of probability and the axioms of probability. In this lecture, we'll deal with the conditional probability, independent events and theorems, total probability and Bayes theorem, and a small exercise problem. So let us discuss about conditional probability. So the conditional probability name itself, conditioned. So when you have two events A and B, for example, let me take two events A and B and another event B. If A is conditioned on B, so it is denoted by P of A given B. Conditional probability is always denoted by P of A given B. So given B, in the sense B has already occurred. So if I know the probability of B, what is the probability of A? So how it is actually dependent and how the probability of A is affected. So this is actually defined as P of A by B, or P of A given B has already occurred, is equal to P of A intersection B. So we already know intersection is nothing but the joint event. So joint occurrence of P of A and B divided by P of B. So this is the definition for conditional probability. So when I want to calculate the conditional probability A given B or B given A, it is nothing but the division of joint probability with the probability that is already known. So coming to a small example. So for example, if B is a subset of A, so you already know what is meant by subset. So the name itself, subset. So the event B, the outcomes of B or subset of A. So that means what? Already the elements in B are present in A. So then what happens to the conditional probability P of A given B? So from the definition, P of A given B is equal to P of A intersection B divided by P of B. So what is A intersection B? So if you see the definition, P of A intersection B will become what? Is it P of A or P of B? If I say P of A, P of B, B is a subset of A. So the joint P of A intersection B will give rise to P of B. So why? Because all the joint occurrence of B and A will be nothing but already the common elements of B and A will be the elements of B. So P of B divided by P of B is nothing but is equal to 1. In the converse case, if I take A is a subset of B, so that means what? If I take A is a subset of B, what happens to P of A intersection B? Then if A is a subset of B, the joint occurrence of A and B will be, the common elements will be A itself. So it is nothing but P of A intersection B will give to P of A and divided by P of B. So which will be always greater than or equal to P of A. So this is how we calculate the conditional probability. So first we have to calculate P of A intersection B. Once we know the joint occurrence of both, then if we divide the prior probability that we already know, then we can calculate P of A given B. So this is the definition of conditional probability. So coming to a small example. So if I take a fair die experiment, so we already know fair die experiment means, see, whenever we take the case of the die experiment, so here one thing is important we have to note is it a fair or an unfair die? So whenever it is a fair die, that means it's not biased. So it's an unbiased die. So when you take the unbiased die, when you take the events of unbiased die, all are random. So when I do any die experiment, definitely the outcome of the die experiment is random. So now if it is fair, that means it is not biased. So an unbiased die, if I take an experiment, so what is the probability? Determine the conditional probability of the event F2, assuming that the event even has occurred. So even elements. So when you perform a die experiment, what will be the even elements? Always in a die experiment, either a 1, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So only those are the events. So in that, if I take the F2 as A, if I you can use either F2 or for convenience I can take a element A is equal to F2. Similarly, B is equal to even. So you already know even elements will be F2, F4 and F6. So you just need to count about how many elements are there which will give you the outcome. So how many elements are there here? These are 3 elements. So what will be P of B? So 3 outcomes divided by n, capital N. So we already know the total number of events that do occur when you conduct a dye experiment. How many are there? 1 to 6. So there are 6. So P of A will be equal to, because in A what do we have? It's only F2. So P of F2 will be nothing but equal to P of A will be equal to, it is only one event, so 1 divided by 6. So and coming to P of B, so P of B is nothing but it is even. So even elements are 3. So 3 divided by 6 is nothing but P of B. So the conditional probability P of A given B is equal to P of F2 divided by P of even. So which is equal to 1 by 6 divided by 3 by 6. So which is actually equal to 1 by 3. So this is a small example of conditional probability. So let us go to another important term, which is independent events. So this is actually discussed over here because which will have a direct impact in conditional probability. So when you take two events A and B are independent, if both are independent, what happens? P of A intersection B will be equal to P of A times P of B. So if see A intersection B is nothing but the common elements of A and B. So when there are no common elements between A and B, that means if A is not dependent on B and B is not dependent on A, then we can say you can just multiply the probabilities of P of A and B. So which is actually P of A intersection B. So if you substitute this in conditional probability definition, it becomes P of A given B is equal to P of A times P of B divided by P of B, which gives you which is actually giving you P of A. So what does it mean? When A is conditioned on B, you know the prior probability of B, then we use conditional probability. So here if A given B has already occurred, but B is not dependent on A and even A not dependent on B. So then you just need to note that it is just equal to the probability of A. So there is no impact of B on A. So even though it is conditional probability, it is same as probability of A. So let us come to law of total probability. So this is actually a very important concept which will drive you to calculate Bayes theorem. So what is total probability theorem? So the name itself, total probability. For example, let us take a sample space S. So in the sample space S, there are many events B1, B2 and Bk. There are B3 and so on Bk. So there are many events that are occurring, and there is a event A which is dependent on B1, B2, B3 and so on Bk. So when you want to calculate the probability of A, it is nothing but it is a joint occurrence of A and B1. Similarly, in this part, if you take the partitions A, the common occurrence of A given B2 and the common occurrence of all other events, similarly common occurrence of A and Bk. So that means if you want to calculate probability of A, it is nothing but the summation of P of A intersection B1, P of A intersection B2, P of A intersection B3 and so on, P of A intersection Bk. So this is what is nothing but total probability theorem. P of A is equal to P of A intersection B1 and so on, P of A intersection Bk. So using conditional probability, you can just replace this P of A intersection B1 definition, which is nothing but P of A given B1 times P of B1 plus P of A given B2 times P of B2 and so on, P of A given Bk times P of Bk. So this is nothing but the total probability theorem. So when you want to calculate the total probability, that means if A is influenced by many events, then when you want to calculate P of A, it is nothing but summation of all the conditional probabilities multiplied by that particular probability or that particular event's probability. So that is total probability theorem. So where do we use this total probability theorem? This is actually used in Bayes theorem. So what is Bayes theorem? A very, very important concept in this particular complete unit of the PTSP. First unit, the main important concept is Bayes theorem. So why it is so important? So Bayes theorem tells you that if you know one conditional probability, that means A, for example, if you take two events A and B, P of A given B you want to calculate. Given that P of, for example, P of B given A is already known to you. So you can see the formula here, P of A given B is already known and you want to calculate B given A. See, there is a lot of difference between P of A given B and P of B given A. See, P of A given B means B has already occurred and you know the probability of B and you want to calculate the influence of B on A. But what is P of B given A? A prior probability, given that A has already occurred, what is the impact of A already occurrence with B? So there is lot of difference. So when you want to calculate such type of conditional probabilities, then we use Bayes theorem. For example, so the definition of Bayes theorem is like this. Suppose that B1, B2, B3 and so on Bn partition the outcomes of an experiment and that A is another event. So whatever I have just told you in total probability theorem, you have B1 and so on Bk and you want to calculate P of A. For any number k with 1 to n, we have the formula like this. P of Bk given A is equal to, so any thing, for example, P of B1 given A I do want to calculate. P of B1 given A will be equal to P of A given B1 times P of B1 divided by summation of P of A given B1 into P of B1 plus P of A given B2 into P of, so that means it is nothing but the summation. So that means that this is nothing but the definition from total probability theorem. So the total probability theorem is in the denominator and the other conditional probability, whatever you know, if you substitute, then we calculate the conditional probability. So this is nothing but definition of Bayes theorem. So the complete why do we use Bayes theorem is you want to calculate P of B given A1 by having already known what is that, fill here, P of B, A given B. If P of A given B is already known, then to calculate P of B given A we use Bayes theorem. So with this we stop and we'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you.